Here we are, January 5th. Tire's still holding air, so I guess I was successful in that one. So both my rear tires have been changed and both are still holding air. So we'll count that as a success. Now, one thing I want to get done, I've been talking about this, is this, where I put these patch panels in. I don't have any paint on them or any primer on them. I think what I'll do, unless you guys tell me different, I shouldn't do it. See, I'm getting a little bit of rust, so I've got this Harbor Freight spot blaster, and I've got some aggregate, and I wait for a dry day, kind of a warm day, and I'm going to blast those welds. I like to blast all the welds, even these ones I've got actually primed. And then I've got some epoxy primer, prime epoxy sealer, whatever epoxy, it's not really primer. So I thought I would blast those. I'll pull my rear tires off, because I know I can do it now. I'll just back this car out on the, up there where the truck is. So I don't have to worry about the media, I'll just waste it. Blast both sides. The other side, even though I think the other side's better. Alright, it's got a little bit of rusty too. Just surface rust, mind you. Go ahead and blast my welds on both sides and epoxy primer them. Epoxy seal them before I do any body work. I think it's okay to do. So I'll back it out, put the rear frame up on jack stands, pull them wheels off so I don't blast them. Go ahead and blast that and then seal it. This question I had on this roof, and it's a little bit in the future. I have to wait for a warm day before I can actually do any kind of priming. But I've cleaned out this seam sealer in this drip rail. Some of it. I just used a wire brush and took out all of it that was loose and dry. And there's still some in there, there's not very much. I have more seam sealer. This roof's going to have to get sanded again. I think I mentioned that a long time ago. I was just going to DA it. I don't know. I have some long blocks. I may go ahead and block it with some coarser paper, whatever I've got. Sand this down a little bit. Then self-etch primer, right? I think. And I can shoot. I don't know if I have any. I actually have some rusty metal primer. Maybe I should use this Rust-Oleum, because it's going to get painted with enamel, you know, it's not going to get painted with car paint. So I'm thinking to go ahead and maybe, because, you know, the roof was rusty, but it's not now. Had surface rust on it. It's got a few pits in it that I think I've actually filled, but I don't know if you can see some of them right there that don't look that great. So I may go ahead and get those sanded back out again. This is actually that rust reformer. It's not primer, it's that black rust reformer. Well, look, got my hand dirty. So the big question is not about this. I'm going to sand this again, probably just with the DA. But this, I need to reseal this. Do I reseal it, then prime it, or do I prime it and then seal it, and then prime over it again? And I do have my caps to go, my stainless caps to go over these, so I'll put those on later. But well, I wouldn't mind going ahead and painting this right here, and I'm going to do this part satin black. This is going to be gray. Painting this, of course. Go ahead and finish prepping around the windows here, get this last of this goopy stuff off. Sanding this and priming it. And now I'm not going to strip that to bare metal, there's no reason to. The paint's actually really sound on that. So, but I want to get this sanded and primed. And maybe painted, but just right around. Maybe it's a waste, maybe I should paint the whole roof. maybe, so I can be ready to put the windows back in. And I could get the windows back in prior to having to paint the whole car. If I went ahead and painted this, I don't want to paint the whole thing. I could paint all the way up to the trunk there and then sand that, you know, when I get ready to paint the car. And when I mask off the rubber, I don't have to worry about not getting paint up under the rubber. So you guys that do body work or something similar, paint, go ahead and give me suggestions on that. But I want to go ahead and get this painted. I want to be able to start putting the windows in. That's my goal. And like I say, this door frame, or window frame, it's not a door frame, it's a window. This is the door frame. But these window frames, I'm thinking doing satin black down to the body line here. And then, of course, this will be gray down here. And gray. So just at this line, I'll probably run a satin black on down there. And I was going to do the jambs and everything satin black. Same as what's going to be on the interior. All this stuff will be satin black. I know that's body color right now, but it's covered up by a plate. Satin black. And not like the door. The door's made on there already. But then you get this painted. I'll paint this, and this is going to be body color though. But right here it would be satin black. And then I would also do... I'm going to do all of this instead of body color. I'm going to do it satin black, so that'd be the whole everything up to this line right here. There's a, you can't see it probably, but there's a fold right there. So then where this skin goes over the top of this piece, and I think I'll go there, and this will be gray to this line right here, this lap. So I'd like to go ahead and get that done. Once those are all done, same thing on the door. This would be, see where they painted it black to right there? I'm going to go on around, I think, all the way up to this weather strip. I might even do these black and then go to this fold here, just like it's on the door skin folds over. So the edge of the door skin would be gray right there, but all of this would be satin black. And I could get this this weather strip replaced. I could get it on the door. And like I said, have this all painted the same color, satin black, satin black. And I could try to find a set of 404 chrome trim, but that's too much chrome for me. So, you know, 404s had a chrome piece that went over these and over these. And then I don't know if they had a chrome drip rail. I have chrome drip rail, stainless one. That's enough chrome for me, I think, is just having it on there. So, and I'm not leaving it off. I know I could leave it off, but I think it'll look good with it on there. Plus it'll divide the gray and the black. So this will be black. This will be gray. This will be chrome stainless, shiny silver. So, and then, so I could get all this taken care of. That's my next thing, is try to get everything from this body line here up prepared. Like I said, I could just paint the roof down to here. And I could paint this part, just kind of like painting jams, and paint on the inside of that, this side, because there's a little piece that goes in there. Of course, this is a separate piece that screws on there. Obviously, I didn't have the chrome off when I did the first time, so I need to sand right here and up in here. But I can leave that off for a while. I mean, its bolts go behind the headliner, so it has to be bolted on either before the headliner, or the headliner has to be loose at the bottom to put that back on there. But anyway, because the bolts are in here, holes in here. I did have another question now that I'm thinking about it. Those things, those C-pillars, would it hurt? I mean, you can see the two holes at the bottom where the bolt holes are, and then the two big holes. Maybe just two. And there was nothing. There was insulation, like fiberglass insulation, I think over the top of all this. I was wondering about shooting, may make it rust though, so I've been thinking of shooting about the expanding foam down in between those two panels. But tell me if you guys think that's risky. It may make it trap moisture and rust them, so I don't want to do it in that case. And then I'll just go ahead and put either like what I got on the roof, which is that silver bubble wrap stuff. I'll just run it down those, just glue it on there. I just glued that up with a headliner glue, spray glue. So, and it seems to have stayed so far, but it's not going to go anywhere. You see the ribs for the headliner are setting up against it anyhow. So this was a, you know, as you guys all know, was a fiberglass matting type stuff that was up there under the headliner that the mice really, really liked. And so now it's this, I put this bubble wrap stuff, silver bubble stuff. I got some more of it. So I thought I might put it, like I say, like on top of this and not worry about what's in here. Plus, if I did fill that with foam, these holes would have to be left open so you can get the bolt in there. But there's some little plastic shot glasses. I think I'd fit right in there. Just shove them in there. Keep foaming those out, of course, oval, but ish. But anyway, I'm thinking about sealing these holes off with panels, either spot welding them in there or whatever. So those are no longer open. But I don't want something that's going to rattle. So I think I'd weld them in. Just stitch weld them or tack weld them around the edge. And make this as a solid piece. But I'm going to do a fiberglass thing here that this thing, of course, is upside down, but that goes over that and then cover this thing with either more modern like headliner stuff. But it'll have this. I may do my console right up, bend it down the front here and all the way up to the front console. So I have a console that goes all the way. Comes with the top, covers the top of this, and goes up to the back window. And in that case, this would either be, I can do vinyl, or like I say, that what they're made out of now, or they have been made out of. I know you want to leave this channel open. It's got a couple of drain holes in it, and so water that condensates down the back glass goes in there, and I guess it drips in the trunk, because those don't go nowhere. Those little holes, they just go down into the trunk, so it doesn't capture anything. But anyway, so I'm going to kind of be concentrating on this. Besides my intake, concentrating on these and getting these sealed up. Say they'll probably epoxy those welds, and then after that's done, I may, how the weather is, go ahead and start putting some filler on those. So, and then prime them. Again, like I said, I've got some red rusty metal primer I thought I might use on this. Unless you guys think I ought to just use epoxy primer. I think I probably have enough. I could spray this roof with epoxy primer as well. After that, I have buy more. I have enough to do the rear wheel wells, and I just bought a quart. I don't know how far a quart will go, but I bought that and the activator from Summit. But so I may epoxy the roof. I may epoxy the whole car, but it's probably going to be in sections. And but I do want to get, my original goal was to get these rear wheel wells epoxied and the lip epoxied. But like I say, they've got to be glued back on. This one's fine. The other side needs the skin glued onto the other part underneath. And I've got some panel bonding adhesive I was going to use on that. Tell me your thoughts, and I will talk to everybody later.